Hello everyone! So today it's my absolute pleasure to have Alex on this call. She's a yoga teacher and I would love for her to introduce herself actually, so because she will probably be the best one to do that. So Alex, please introduce yourself to us. Let us know a bit about who you are, what are your greatest values, what do you do, and where do you live?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I'm Alex, and I have recently, well, I say for the last few years, I guess, I've mostly been traveling abroad teaching yoga. I grew up in London, and since kind of my early adult years, I've been a bit of a nomad. I've been traveling around and either working abroad or, yeah, just visiting places. I What did you ask me? Greatest values. My greatest values, I would have to say, probably honesty. Not only with yourself, but with not only with others, but with yourself. I think that's really important, and I think also personal responsibility. Just because I actually find that really empowering, to have this idea that only I am responsible for my happiness, you know. And once I learnt that, I realized that that's actually really cool, because then I can control it, you know. It's a very empowering statement. But right now I'm in the UK, and yeah, that's me.
Ah, great. Sounds really great. And I was just wondering, because I am in the process of becoming a yoga teacher next to my online business. And, I do hear a lot about yoga teachers. And I'm not doing this for, the money side or just so I want to be a yoga teacher. I really want the skills and understand, the whole body and maybe be able to help people, but not necessarily with that pressure on my back, and I was just wondering, because you have kind of controversial situation, you first were a yoga teacher, and I was just wondering what kind of challenges have you faced on your journey?
Yeah. It's a really interesting question, actually, because I had huge challenges to become a yoga teacher, and it was all my own doing. It was all my self-limiting beliefs. It actually took me a couple of years of thinking about it before I actually did it, because I had this whole concept in my mind of what a yoga teacher looked like.
Yeah.
Like you've seen the Instagram pictures, right? They're all skinny, blonde things that can wrap their feet around their head, right? And
Yeah.
I did not, see myself like that. And I definitely am not that flexible. So I would say my biggest challenge was my self-limiting beliefs, and just having this idea that, who was I to think that I could do that, or that I could be that type of person. So yeah.
So how did it affect the quality of your life then, with all those limiting beliefs?
Yeah, well, I ended up kind of wasting a few years, really. And, it was a huge passion of mine. It still is. And I knew deep down that that's what I wanted to do, but I put it off, and I wasted time doing other stuff that didn't make me happy, because I was afraid, because I didn't have that belief and the self-confidence that I needed to take that step. So yeah, it did make a difference.
Okay, so have you been trying to solve all these problems? Have you been trying to find the solutions?
Yeah, well, I've been teaching yoga now for it's about, actually it's just over 6 years now. So yeah, I had to overcome that. That started when I did my training. I was obviously able to start to see that it was possible. But really it was having to just lean into the fear. I had to do things that were scary. And, the first time I taught yoga, it was terrifying. It was massively out of my comfort zone. And, it's like anything. It's like learning to ride a bike. It's scary to start with, but then it gets easier.
Yeah.
And the easier it gets, the more confidence you get. And then those self-limiting beliefs weren't a problem anymore, because I was actually doing it,
Okay. What would you say helped you most to kind of, so putting it into practice, really?
Yeah, I think not being like actually stepping into the fear, like not letting fear hold you back, and doing it even though it's scary. That was probably the biggest thing. But yeah, practice, like anything. Yeah.
And how did it affect your life, when you finally faced your fear and did all those things? How does it look, for you now?
It was incredible. I used to work in a corporate career, so I was like, I had a boss, and I had to be where I needed to be, someone else's schedule, all that kind of stuff. And then when I started teaching yoga, like, it was literally like doors opened for me that I couldn't have imagined would have ever happened. Like opportunities. I actually moved to a new place. I moved to Bristol in the southwest when I first started teaching yoga, and I didn't know anybody there, but so many opportunities opened up for me to kind of help me along the way. And like it changed my life completely, because I went from kind of being stuck in an office, working on someone else's projects that I wasn't really passionate about, to having, like, being self-employed, being able to manage my own time, and then even later on in my career to be able to get the opportunities to teach abroad and combine my love of traveling with my love of yoga. So it changed my life massively.
That's so amazing and so brave as well, because I think not everyone, you think kind of you get your students in one place, and like transitioning from one place to another might be so daunting. And I don't know, I think like, wow, well done, truly inspiring. And how did you, so how did you find, did you find new clients easily in new places? Did you manage to survive from yoga business?
It's a really good question. I think for the first few years in Bristol, I was able, to make a living from it, and I did get a lot of demand for classes, and I was really content with that. But I did work really hard. Like, I was really busy, and then after about 2.5 years, I did start to feel a little bit burnt out with the amount of teaching that I was doing. And it's a really common story that you hear a lot. And that's when I started to think about other ways of doing it. And that was when the opportunity to go and teach in an ashram in India actually came up for me.
Yeah.
So I then spent like the next few years kind of working more abroad, and in those situations I was obviously working for somebody else, like in a yoga center or an ashram, so I didn't have to worry about finding the clients. The students were already there. And that was an incredible opportunity, because I got to work with different people and meet lots of different people around the world, and be in all of these really lovely exotic places. So yeah.
Now, Alex, I kind of met you through the company where we are both studying at, SFM, the SFM, and I was just wondering, so just for everyone who doesn't know what it is, it's really online education community where we all support each other, and where you can start learning, about how to create your own online business, or how to bring your business online. Even if you have no experience at all, and all you needed, online for was just to communicate with your friends. So like before joining, all I knew was really how to message on Facebook, how to send an email, and basically that's it, not talking about creating your own website or anything like that. And I was just wondering, what was the reason? What was your motivation to join our community?
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting, because the steps that we've talked about so far are kind of what brought me to that point. So I had spent a good few years working abroad, and I would often come back to England in the summer, and I would really enjoy, spending the spring and the summertime in England, but then I would always want to go away during the winter. But every time I came back during the summer, I didn't have that student base that you were just talking about. And so it was hard for me to make money in the UK. And I realized, like, okay, this isn't sustainable. Like, I love working abroad and traveling abroad, but ultimately at some point I will want to settle probably in the UK,
Yeah.
and I knew that it wasn't sustainable to keep doing what I was doing. So I was trying to find another way that I could earn like a passive income, but that I didn't have to be stuck in one location to do it. And that was when, I saw Dan Holloway's video on YouTube. So
we all love Dan Holloway. I was just thinking, as well, so before joining, what kind of level of technical skills did you have, and like marketing knowledge or anything like that?
Like zero. Like what you just said, I knew how to send an email, I knew how to do a Google search, and I, could use Facebook. That was
like, I think many of us are like that there, isn't it? But then after like a couple of months being there, it all shifts so much. It's like amazing when you see, and then it's all natural to you. So did you have any fears before joining? Like what kind of biggest doubts you've got?
I think the technical side of things was definitely a worry. I am not very good with technology at all, and that's a challenge that I've had to overcome. But like with the help of the trainings and all of the people in the community, I've always been able to keep moving forwards. And I think the other fear was probably, it was just more, again, back to like my own self-belief, like whether I could do this, like I knew that it was possible to make money online. That's why I had been kind of researching this field. I knew there were people out there doing this kind of thing, but I suppose I wasn't really sure if I could do it. So those were probably the biggest like kind of hurdles in my mind.
So what would you say to someone who is kind of in similar situation like you were, having similar doubts and everything, and like they're thinking, should they join this kind of community to help them out, where they are doubting, if they could do this, and what would you say to them?
I mean, at the end of the day, I've always lived by the philosophy of I don't want to have regrets in my life. And I just think, what have you got to lose? Like, actually, like if you don't try, it's so much worse, because you'll just get to a point in the future where you're really going to have like, you're just going to stay on the same path. And if that path is not fulfilling for you, then you're going to look back and regret that you didn't try something. And for me, I never want to feel like that in my life. So I always tend to do the opposite and think, okay, well, I should just try, and then at least I'll know, if it works, great. If it's not for me, no big deal. At least I know. So I think, you've just got nothing to lose.
No, absolutely. And, I can absolutely relate to you as well. So I joined first of all as well for the passive income. So because SFM also provides the products which you can sell and then get commission for it. So it's really, kind of great opportunity to start your online business even if you don't know where to start or have no products whatsoever. And now, because I have that passive income ticking on and coming in, I kind of can do whatever I want. So like I can do yoga, and I can become yoga teacher without any stress, even if I don't have any students, or maybe I have one student, or maybe I have the community that I love that I can engage with. And then as well, the same way for you. So like you can be your yoga teacher, do whatever you need, but that at the back of your mind, you're not that stressed out. And I think then you can be the best version of yourself and truly be spiritually connected with those students. Because I think if you have like 5 lessons per day, 5 classes per day, at the 5th class, all you are giving them is probably not as much as you would like to. Whereas if you have 2 classes per day, you can be all in, present there. And so guys, if anyone, feels like, if you feel like you relate to this and, really would like to check it out, we do provide free 7-day video series which explain all about it, explain how you can earn money online, how you can earn that passive income on the side and do what you're passionate about, be involved in your spiritual life as well. And actually, so we will put the link in the comments in the description, and you can get that for free. Absolutely. It was our pleasure to have you here, Alex. Thank you so much. And yeah, hope to speak to you soon.
It was lovely to speak to you. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye bye.